sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.
It's coffee time with Peter Gomez. Thanks for being with us. We have in our midst Amadou Jaiteh. Amadu is another new voice in Gambian politics, a seasoned diplomat and international lawyer. Amadu recently stepped away from his post at the Gambia's permanent mission to the United Nations to launch a reformist movement, Progress Gambia. Now, with a career that spans nearly a decade at the UN, Jaita has been a leading advocate for climate justice, peace building, and human rights. Now he's bringing that global experience home, challenging the political establishment with bold ideas, including, we hear, his controversial call to abolish political parties altogether. And as the country looks ahead to 2026, Jaiteh's entry into frontline politics somehow raises big questions about governance, accountability, and the future of democracy in our country, the Gambia. He joins us to share his vision, explains why he believes progress is the way forward, that is his movement. I'll just try to break down what progress means. It's the People's Reformist Organization for Growth, Renewal, Equity, Security, and Social Justice. Just try to remember progress. The rest will fall in place eventually. Amadu, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to see you.
Thank you, Uncle Peter.
It's really, very interesting and, heartwarming to see that increasingly young people are coming into politics. Because when we were your age, we did everything to avoid politics. And of course, today, we realize how wrong we were, all those years. But that's because politics was packaged in a certain way and presented to us. Nobody wanted to come anywhere near it. But over time, you people have understood that it's politics that dictates what I say on radio, how much I buy my orange for. In some countries, even who, I interact with publicly. All right? Thanks for joining us. Tell us about Progress, and for starters, how you coined, the name.
No, thank you very much, Uncle Peter. And it's an opportunity to be here on this platform, well watched and well listened to as well. Let me first of all say good morning to all our listeners from the Gambia, West Coast Radio. And Uncle Peter, Progress is a reformist organization. The idea, the question that you ask about how it was coined, it's born out of my experience in national governance and also global governance, and understanding that governance is to uplift people, is to change living standards of people, communities, is moving your country. And this is what I have been doing international, globally, in my position at the United Nations. But seeing our country not moving forward, but on a constant reverse mode.
Oh, really?
Of course. And even when I am at the United Nations, I'm very progressive. I take initiatives without even waiting when it is good for the country. I come to my ambassador, I seek his blessings. I see an important process that we can lead as a country. I put in our interest, because most of the time I'm in a position to to take those decisions because I'm in a leadership position. Either I am in the leadership position of the African group, or I am in the leadership position of cross-regional groups within the United Nations. So when I see when elections that are coming for either International Court of Justice, a judge, or maybe there's a position coming for a commissioner, or there's a position coming for something, it naturally falls on my table. And also being an election officer also. So I will look at it. My colleagues will be canvassing for my support. But I will first check to see if there is a Gambian that is qualified for that. If the position for the country, like the Human Rights Council, for example, I will consult with my ambassador. Can we go for this? And the ambassador will say yes, naturally, and then I will put in the application quickly. These are the things that I do. And when I see those things, you do it, and then you communicate back home for instructions. Many a times you don't even get response.
Oh.
Yes, you don't even get response. We have a government that is very irresponsive to issues globally that are very important to the country, to issues that can bring a lot of goodwill to the country. There is usually a missed opportunity. I'm not the kind of person that will see an opportunity for my country, and my inaction or my lack of competence fail that for the Gambian, for the Gambian people. That is
Can
not
you cite
something
an
that I
example
want.
where government inaction cost the country a place in some international organization?
I can tell you, I can give you an example, several.
Just one will do.
Example, just one will do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make it two. The Human Rights Council that we are currently on for the second time, it's a position that is very, very privileged, and it has soft power. You want your country, you want your president to be reached out to by his compatriots. You want your foreign minister to be engaged. You want to be on those platforms. When I saw that opportunity, I brought to my ambassador, did the strategy already, and then he approved of it. We wrote to Gambia government on several times. There was not a single response. And I can go to my emails. You will see several times the emails that were sent to the Attorney General, to the, yes.
The President Attorney General?
Yes, you will get no response, absolutely. And Gambia participated on climate, on the ICJ, that is International Court of Justice,
yes.
Advisory opinion on climate change.
So did we miss the opportunity?
We didn't miss it because my ambassador at the time was, Ambassador Yabo, was in full swing, in full support of it. He said, let's move with it. And we moved with it.
So apparently you did not require Banjul's nod to go ahead with the whatever process it was. So why did you have to write back to Banjul?
Because you in elections like that, you need the support of your government.
Yeah, but you could do without the support, from what I'm hearing from you now.
Yes, that is not the procedure. The procedure is you always get instructions from your capital. You get their blessings, because when you get their blessings, the president can be out there.
It's a good to have, but not necessarily a must have.
It's a must-have because you know why?
Now, why then would you
You know-
proceed with it if you must have
Yes.
it and it did not come?
Yes, it helps when you're doing a campaign. When you're doing a campaign globally, you actually trigger all your diplomatic, all your antennas, all your diplomatic angles, ambassadors, the president himself, ministers. You use them because they all go out there. They interact with their counterparts, and then they can also canvass for your support. So you're not alone as a mission. When you write, your other missions, other embassies are also writing. You are also communicating your foreign minister's letter, your minister of justice letter. You're also communicating the president's letter to his counterparts. This support comes huge because then they see you, your counterparts see you as not alone. You are not, because sometimes you can see that, sometimes you can see an ambassador or an expert put up a position at the United Nations saying that, oh, this is the instruction from capital, when they don't have any instruction. And sometimes you have some colleagues that even can reach out to your capital and can find out that actually you don't even have the mandate to do that. That can undermine you. I can give you another example, which is the International Court of Justice advisory opinion. We as a country, our colleagues always reach out to us, on UN General Assembly resolutions, because we are a small mission, but we always put ourselves forward to take responsibilities. So a small country from the Pacifics, wanted to actually lead a resolution. They reach out Vanuatu, they reach out to the Gambia, they reach out to me. At the time when it started, I was the vice chair at the 6th committee.
Well, Vanuatu would know the Gambia because there was a time when a Gambian was their either chief justice or something.
They would know, but also my presence at the 6th committee was very, very well known. If you need to move, any processes that is so progressive, you reach out to me because I was serving at the time as the African group coordinator, and you want to have the support of the 54 African countries, you have to pass through me. So when they reach out, we find this very interesting. We participated in these negotiations at the General Assembly level after gaining all the support, and then there was an adoption of a consensus resolution adoption at the General Assembly. Now, as a country that was part of the leadership of such very important resolution, do you sit back when the advisory opinion question is now posed to the court, and the court is now saying, well, you countries now have asked for our opinion. Now you need to now submit your pleadings. You need to submit your pleadings and tell us why we should give you an opinion, and what should our opinion be based on. The mission in New York, we wrote to Banjul, yet no response. But then also we continue to go forward with this, and to hear from the Minister of Justice at some point calling us, who gave us the authority to do that, because he is not interested in having the Gambia participate at the International Court of Justice. We responded to him that, Honorable Minister, with due respect, this is in line with our work. It's in line with our mandate. It's an initiative that we are pursuing here. We cannot be part of a process which is a General Assembly process that is now going to the ICJ. Free lawyers' fees. Lawyers' fees are all paid for. It's a pro bono. We have all the support, even the support to get a delegation from Banjul to go to The Hague and represent the Gambia. We do not see any issue with this. But yet, that was seen as a big issue. I hear it was even discussed in cabinet to the level of the president. So these kind of issues that I have been dealing with can actually discourage you to know that also, and to see that this is a country, this is a government that is not progressive in thinking, in globally, and they're not interested in moving forward. These are the reasons why when you look at when you walk around that environment, you see where the country should be if you have leadership that is very vision-oriented. They are thinking beyond the borders of the Gambia. They want to do well internationally. Then you know that maybe this is not the government that you should be a part of. And progress is aiming to become that government That government that has the global finance, the global understanding how things are moved around the world, both nationally and globally. And that is why we are forming Progress as a reformist organization that will change political landscape of this country.
Okay. That's a very damning statement there against this government. I'm sure Dr. Cisse would be glad to be given an opportunity to respond to that. How does your experience in multilateral diplomacy shape the way you approach Gambian governance? Say if you became president after 2026, well, first of all, you need to formally register your...
Of course. Which you are in the process.
I can't call it party because we are told that, you don't like the idea of party.
We need to clarify that, so you can call party.
Oh.
We are currently transitioning into a political party. We are going through the processes. So I cannot be leading a movement, and we are in transition to a political party and say that we want to abolish political parties. No. I think
so this perception that you are anti-party ideology is false.
I am we are Progress. We are anti-party politics in all government sectors. We are anti that. We are not saying abolish political parties. We are saying...
What do you say, anti-party politics in all sectors? Are you anti-politics in all sectors, full stop? Or?
So we are saying remove party politics from parliament and from local governance. That's what we are saying.
Loyalty to party.
Yes.
So when you are given a public position whose functions may not necessarily agree with the ideology of your party, once you are holding that position, be loyal to the position rather than to your political party ideology.
That is an aspect of it. But what we are saying, basically, 5 years politicking around the country must stop. 2026, we go into presidential elections. You finish that, and then 2 years later or 1 year later, you go into parliamentary politics again. Again, party politics. You move away from that. You go into 2 years on. You go on to local governance.
One year, yeah.
So basically, 5 years throughout, we are politicking and no work is done. And this politics, all it brings is bickering, sowing seeds of discord in communities. So we are saying the solution to that, as a reformist organization, we are starting with reforming the law. We're giving the Gambians the constitution that they want, in addition to further reforms where we are going to prohibit party politics in parliament and party politics in local government. And how do we do that? We want people, representatives, to come from their communities, come from their constituency. If you are known to be a community leader, a community member with integrity, somebody who has the community's best interests at heart, the community can choose you to go and represent them at the National Assembly. You do not have to be sponsored by a political party. You do not have to go on a political party ticket. That is what we are saying. We are saying the president and the political parties just for the presidency. Once you are there, you have your executive powers there, you are limited to the presidency. Anyone else who goes to National Assembly, they are coming directly from their people. Because we see political parties have money. They can take Uncle Peter here to Fonyi and then make you a representative of Fonyi Council.
Nobody's done that so far.
They can do that.
Maybe Progress will do that.
That has been done even Jawara's time.
Some
listeners, with you. Yeah. Yes. So they do that.
Maybe Progress will do that.
And these are issues that are perennial, by the way. These are not issues that I am saying. These are all this current, And political parties, what do they do again? The president, if you're not in their party, they go around canvassing support to tell the innocent electorates, do not vote for this candidate because this candidate belongs to the other party. And this candidate will not be able to work with the president because they do not belong in one party. I mean, that is completely wrong. The president is for the people. Once you are elected, you are for all Gambians. This is what we are standing against.
But we have seen that the president has not been able to work with certain heads of municipal councils.
Exactly. And that is why Progress is coming up with this ideology. Because we believe that this ideology, if we can reform it in a way that will bring cohesion in communities. But the president going to Brikama community, for example, or President Jammeh going to other communities in Banjul, for example,
that can't happen
and then
anymore.
saying, I mean, that is the same thing. That's the trend, and that is why we are not saying this is in fact the issue. The only, the issue is only by this current government. No, it's an issue that is perennial. It has been existing. But so as Gambians, we need to be able to think about solution to these issues, and then get them out. The system that we are, perpetuating, these are systems that we inherited.
Let's talk more about that system. What does progress offer that existing political parties have failed to deliver?
So first, when you come up, when we are talking about system change, when you change this system, you bring in this new system that we are talking about, you are actually bringing more cohesion in communities. You are bringing more positive energy in communities, because communities are now, the real people power actually is by the people choosing their own choice of people, but not political parties imposing people on them and using their money, using their party colors because of, that's who they want, and bring them into parliament. Our constitution, the draft constitution 2020 failed because of party disagreements. We believe when you have independent candidates in parliament, from their constituency, from their people, when the president brings any policy issue that is a national issue that will help everybody, they will listen to the president because they know that there's no partisanship here. We do not belong to the same party with the president. But if the president brings any policy issue that affects us all nationally, we will support it. Because if you don't support it, you will have to go and answer to your constituency. They will not be happy with you. The president want to bridge or want to build a toll road from Banjul to Basse, where everywhere it passes, there's a toll to be paid. And if you go against that, and they have the funding already ready, you will have to answer to your constituency. And then when you go to local governance also, we are saying, remove mayors, remove governors. Remove mayors, remove chairmen, remove governors. These are all political tools. They have no use. All they do is that represent their political parties. They collect revenue. Part of the revenue goes into funding their political parties anyway.
So, you remove them. Who collects that revenue now?
So the
How do you go about collecting that revenue?
Good question. So we are saying, let the central government, let us centralize the revenue collection. Because I was listening to the Brikama mayor, and he said something that was very, very interesting to me, that they collect revenue. And in fact, when he came, the chairman he took over from, who was not doing much anyway, he was able to actually multiply the revenue collection from the previous chairman who was there. But then he's saying they're still limited because they don't have the data, and they cannot even broaden their revenue collection or maximize it to where they want it because they don't have the know-how, they don't have the capacity. Now we are saying GRA. Every year we hear that GRA is improving, they are increasing in revenue collection.
And they are.
Yeah. So which is factual. So we are saying centralized revenue collection. Let GRA be responsible for all revenue collections. And they have the data. If the Brikama,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, if the Brikama chairman is saying that, for example, they only collect between 150 million to 200 million annually, imagine the GRA comes in. The GRA is able to do a complete overhaul of the situation, and they get the right data. All commercial businesses, all residential homes, all rental homes, and they put the right taxes there. We can double what the Brikama Area Council is collecting currently, or even more than that. Imagine they are able to collect 500 million, for example. And by law, again, as a reformist organization, we are saying 90% of that has to go back to the community. Now, would that
90%?
Yes, 90% goes back to the community.
Every $10 collected from the
$9
community,
go back to the community.
Go back to them.
You are outsourcing it to them to centralize it because they have the capacity to collect it. Currently, 100% is to the community, right? So we are saying if you outsource it to the GRA, let 90% go back to the community. That 90%, if it is 500 million annually, that's 400 million right there for the Brikama Area Council. Now, the area council, the community members can now set up a system that they want that can be representative of the people. No more creating demigods in mayors and in chairmen, deciding
who do you think is held up as a demigod?
I mean, You have mayors, you have chairmen. They want to be in full control. They want to have absolute power. We hear the other time the Brikama mayor was saying something like, "Vote for UDP, and then I will give you 5 million each ward." I mean, that is.
I
not
will
how,
give you.
Yes, I will give 5 million every.
Those were his words.
Those were his words. He will give 5 million, but he came out later to rectify that. But I am saying, even though he was rectified, however context it came out of, that is completely wrong. Okay. I mean, there has to be a system in place, a system that will actually look into that. People know the 400 million that is coming back from GRA to our community. Let's have a committee, or let's have some form of a committee that the people want, that is representative of all groups of people, from all aspects of people, Christian, Muslim, disabled people, women, men, youth, and then they can be responsible for expending that money. They can expend that money. They can create, let me go further, they can create women fund. They can create all these backway issues that we are talking about. They can create women fund from that money. They can create part of it as youth development fund. They can take money from that and they can spend it on markets, on community, whatever it is, can be health improvement. So let's say, for example, Modu here.
I need to go to a commercial break. And
yes,
then,
we can do that.
Come back.
We can do that. Thank you very much.